Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. We're having a bit of fun this year with 20 different things happening. We've already done a couple of them already because we're well into 2020 already. So this time we're doing some applique trees. There's going to be 20 different trees, and we've actually already done 16 trees, so there's not many more to go. This is a diagram over here of all the trees that we are doing. So there's just these few in the corner here to still do. Other than that, there's more information on the website on GourmetQuilter.com about the 2020 Tasty Treats. And if you've already been and registered to receive the pattern for the applique trees, then you'll have a pattern like this for tree number 17. There's a diagram of the block finished there, and then there's all the shapes here ready to trace onto the fusible web. So I'm doing a fused raw edge applique with free motion stitching. You might of course have a different style of applique that you like to do. Oops, getting ahead of myself here. So I've got my background square here, and I've got my pieces all cut out, my tree trunk. This is an orange tree with my oranges. They're slightly large, the oranges, I have to say, as oranges go. So I'm going to start positioning my shapes. I've got my fusible web on the back of my fabric already, so I'll just peel the paper off. And I'm going to position my tree trunk. So just remember, you lose about 1/4 of an inch all the way around on a block. If you join it into other things like a quilt or whatever it is that you're going to join it to, really. I think that needs to just move a touch. I'm using, the fusible web I'm using is actually steamer seam, so it actually is quite sticky or just a little bit tacky, so that it'll just sit on your fabric quite nicely like that, and doesn't move too much until you iron it, and then it won't move at all. So I'm going to position the oranges. Again, just keep an eye on the distances so that everything is sitting within for when you piece the block into something else. And there's a little orange on the end of each of these little branches, because that apparently is where these oranges are growing. I wonder if they're not oranges. They might be some other amazing fruit that just look a bit like oranges. And then there's just a few little leaves. It's definitely put all its energy into the oranges, this tree. These leaves are just a little bit light on, but kind of fun. So I'm just bringing those up close to the stem so that when you stitch on the stem you can get straight onto the leaf at the same time as you're going around, so you don't have to keep stopping and starting. And one more leaf to go. So it's kind of fun to do all this. And I'm quite happy with my little orange tree, little laden orange tree. So I'm going to iron all those shapes in place so that they won't move now. But they still do need stitching. It's definitely something you need to do, especially if you're ever going to wash or use anything that you've got the applique on. So I'm just going to position that now. Because I'm going to free motion stitch, I need some sort of a stabilizer behind, and I'm using a lightweight cotton batting for that. I just like to iron them together because they just sit together nicely then when I take them to the machine to sew. So I'm just doing free motion stitching. I've got the feed teeth dropped on my sewing machine. I've got a free motion foot on. I've just got regular 50 weight cotton thread in, a regular sewing needle, and other than that, it's all about the free motion stitching. So this time I think I'm going to be able to go around everything all in one go, so it doesn't really matter where I start, because you can go along the trunk, skip onto the leaf, go around the orange, back onto the trunk and things like that. So I'll just get going and see how it goes. So I'm just at a leaf now, so I'm just going to skip right onto that leaf, stitch around that as I'm there, and then along the trunk, and onto the orange, all the way around the orange, I need to stitch on all the raw edges, so even when I come back around here on the orange, I need to go across that bit where it's across the branch. So across there, join up the stitching, and then I can back up a little bit and then just skip onto the branch there. So by doing it that way, I can go around the whole tree all in one go without having to stop and start, which is my preferred way to do things. I'll just go around this orange as well. So just take your time when you're doing the free motion. And just back up a little bit and then back onto the trunk. So I'm just going to continue on till I get around to back to where I started. And I'll see you there. So here I am, nearly back where I started. I've been around all those oranges and leaves and branches. And right back where I started. A couple of stitches just to lock it. And there is one amazing orange tree. Just give it a quick press. And I think that's looking great. What sort of a forest wouldn't like an orange tree like that? So that can sit over here with the rest of my forest over here. And I think that's looking pretty good. So that was it for tree number 17. Let's get that little orange tree up there in the forest. It's growing really well, this forest. There's not many more to go. So that was tree number 17, and I'll see you again with tree number 18. Thank you.